No one has ever heard two people laugh as much as we do. It's because our mom had such a great sense of humor. It was her survival guide. Liza, do you remember that night at the Oscars? I remember my dad squeezing my head so hard I thought he broke it. My sweet life is a COCH. Welcome back to the Stars Rewind. Liza Minnelli is an indelible icon in Hollywood history, known for both her mesmerizing voice and her amazing dance moves. Behind the bright lights of the stage lies a life full of hidden corners where pain and inner struggles have become uninvited guests. Behind a legendary career spanning decades were problems that seemed impossible to solve, from a childhood overshadowed by the fame of her mother, the legendary Judy Garland, to broken marriages, the heartache of not being able to have a child, and constant battles with health and addiction. What kept Liza Minnelli, a woman weathering the storms of fate, steadfast? Let's look into the dramatic and emotional journey of Liza Minnelli, a star who not only shone brightly in Hollywood's spotlight, but also touched the hearts of millions with her incredible strength and unwavering determination. Early life. Liza Minnelli was born on March 12, 1946, in Hollywood, a place where dreams and tragedies often come together inextricably. She is the daughter of the legendary Hollywood star Judy Garland and the actress and singer Roberta Flaherty. Directors Vincente Minnelli and Liza grew up in a family where fame seemed inevitable. But behind the glittering facade of fame lay a complicated reality where pressure, expectations, and the shadows of life loomed large over young Liza from a very young age. Liza lived in the huge shadow of her mother, Judy Garland, who had captivated the world as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. To maintain her stardom, Judy was subjected to strict control by major studios and forced to use drugs to stay alive. Liza didn't fully understand her mother's lifelong struggle with addiction because she was too young to fully understand it herself. Lisa only knew that her mother was often weak, vulnerable, and in need of care, which was a huge responsibility for a child. Liza didn't have a carefree childhood like other kids did. Instead, she quickly became her mother's friend and caregiver during her worst times. She once remembered switching Judy's tranquilizers for sugar to make sure her mother didn't overdose, which was both innocent and mature beyond her years. During hard times, they had to sneak out of hotels when they couldn't pay the bills. Judy's sense of humor and unwavering love for her daughter turned these situations into games that made Liza laugh and feel at ease, even though they both knew the truth. Liza and her mother had a bond that went beyond mother and daughter. It was a bond between two people leaning on each other in hard times. However, this love couldn't erase the psychological damage Liza went through. As she once admitted, growing up in a home full of yelling and arguments made her very afraid of any kind of conflict. "I can't stand yelling, just hearing someone raise their voice and I'll run away," Liza admitted in a later interview. Besides the pressures of family life, Liza also had to deal with the high expectations that came with being the daughter of Judy Garland and Vincente Minnelli. Judy Garland's fame meant that Liza was both looked at with a critical eye and held to high standards. Any success Liza had was always compared to her mother's. Being called Judy Garland's daughter was a burden she carried throughout her childhood, making her constantly struggle to prove who she was. But even during the hardest times, Liza Minnelli kept her love for the arts, in part because of her parents' influence. She often went to her father's film sets to see him work and see the magic of storytelling come to life on screen. This love, along with she had a natural talent for art that made her want to make a name for herself in the entertainment world. The early years of Liza Minnelli's life were a mix of light and shadow. They were a time of growth that was hard at times, but also full of emotion, where she learned to find strength in love and use her pain as motivation to move forward. Even though her childhood wasn't perfect, it was these experiences that made her strong and ready to face any challenge. Liza Minnelli was born into a famous Hollywood family and inherited both natural talent and a strong love for the arts. However, with the huge shadow of her mother, Judy Garland, always hanging over her, making her own identity wasn't easy. Her career started out slowly but quickly rose thanks to her exceptional talent and unwavering determination. Liza Minnelli first appeared on stage when she was just 2.5 years old in her mother's film, Even Though It Was Summertime. Liza's father, director Vincente Minnelli, worked at MGM, where she was surrounded by talented people. She quickly learned that being an artist wasn't just about glamour, but also required hard work and dedication. As she got older, Liza decided not to rely on her family's fame and instead pursued her career on her own terms. She looked for opportunities on her own and convinced producers to cast her in the off-Broadway musical Best Foot Forward. The role became a big deal. It was the first time Liza made a strong impression, earning praise for her natural charisma and lively energy on stage. When she was 19, she took on the lead role in the Broadway musical Flora the Red Menace, which was a major turning point in her career. With her powerful voice, captivating stage presence, and intense emotional expression, Liza left an indelible mark on audiences. And her amazing performance earned her a Tony Award. The award made her the youngest actor to ever receive it. It not only showed how talented she was, but it also proved that Liza Minnelli could shine on her own, without relying on her mother's fame. In addition to her acting career, Liza spent time learning and growing by going on concert tours with her mother, working as a stage manager, and even being there for Judy Garland when she was having a hard time. These experiences taught her a lot about stagecraft and improved her ability to command an audience. Carrying on her mother's charm, Liza also created her own unique artistic identity. The first major peak of Liza's music career came in the late 1960s, when she released solo albums and went on international tours. With her emotionally rich voice and amazing ability to connect with audiences, Liza quickly won over listeners of all ages. However, these successes came with a lot of pressure. She not only had to meet the high expectations of her audience, but also, people always compared Liza to her mother. The hardest part isn't achieving success, it's proving that I'm Liza Minnelli, not just Judy Garland's daughter, she once said. However, these problems became the motivation for Liza to overcome them all. She kept improving her craft by trying out different musical styles and performance styles. Liza Minnelli's early career wasn't just the beginning of her journey as an artist. It also showed her unwavering determination and burning desire to shine with her unique talent. Liza Minnelli proved she wasn't living in anyone else's shadow, she was her own bright, shining star. Her early successes paved the way for her rise to the top of her field, where she not only established herself, but also left behind a lasting artistic legacy with her powerful voice, natural acting skills, and one-of-a-kind performance style. She became one of the most versatile artists and cultural icons of the 20th century. Her career hit its peak in the 1970s, a time when to solidify her talent and define her unique artistic identity, she played Sally B.S. in the musical film Cabaret 1972, which became a classic and made her one of Hollywood's immortals. As Sally, Liza played a bohemian nightclub singer with ambition and audacity, but she also showed the character's deep loneliness and insecurities in every scene. This made Sally Bowes a vivid and complex character set. Liza's outstanding performance in the dark Berlin of the 1930s earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, a bold statement that she did not need Judy Garland's shadow to shine. The success of Cabaret was due not only to Liza's commanding performance, but also to her extraordinary ability to connect with audiences. The song Maybe This Time, one of the film's standout numbers, was both a personal declaration of hope for the character and a showcase of Liza's emotional depth and technical skill. People saw not only a singer singing about hopes and dreams, but also a woman trying to find her place in a world that wasn't always stable. Every note, glance, and movement carried an undeniable charm that made Sally B.S. one of the most famous roles in movie history. After the huge success of Cabaret, Liza continued to give great performances, though not all of them were as monumental as her role in the 1972 TV special Liza with a Z. She was not only the star, but also the heart and soul of the production. The Triumph of Liza with a Z, directed by Bob Fosse, was a masterful blend of stage and screen artistry that showed off Liza's powerful vocals, graceful dance moves, and irresistible charm. The show won her an Emmy Award, proving her versatility and status in the entertainment world. Another notable performance was in the 1981 movie Arthur, where she played Linda Merola, a kind and funny working-class woman. While this role wasn't as groundbreaking as Sally Bowes, Liza brought authenticity and a perfect performance. She brought a balance of humor and emotion to the role, showing that she was a versatile actress who could do well in everything from grand musicals to lighthearted romantic comedies. Liza's stage career also left an indelible mark. Productions like Flora the Red Menace 1965 and The Act 1977 were not only showcases for her acting skills, but also important turning points in her journey of self-discovery and artistic growth. In Flora the Red Menace, her performance as Flora won her a Tony Award, making her a household name. Liza was the youngest actress to win the prestigious accolade on stage. She didn't just perform, she lived her characters to life, making each show a memorable experience for her fans. Another highlight of Liza's career was her success in music. Her 1,989 album Results, which she made with the electronic duo Pet Shop Boys, was a bold and innovative project that showed she was willing to change and push boundaries. The album showed Liza's adventurous spirit and her ability to shine in any musical genre. Even though she is best known for timeless classics like New York, New York, Liza Minnelli proved that her artistry went beyond traditional expectations in every role and musical endeavor she undertook. Her family's fame and the high expectations of the public were challenges she turned into fuel for her unwavering drive to succeed. In every performance and concert, she didn't just tell stories, she deeply connected with her audience, delivering emotions. That Liza Minnelli's career is a story of unwavering determination that has left a monumental artistic legacy and an irreplaceable place in the history of global entertainment. Her personal life and tragedies are also very moving. She is not only a talented artist, but also a woman who has been through unbearable pain. Her personal life has been a series of highs and lows, with moments of glory on stage contrasting sharply with the darkness that enveloped her when the lights went out. Among all her trials was the death of her mother when she was only 23 years old. Liza's beloved mother, Judy Garland, a legendary Hollywood star, died of an accidental overdose of barbiturates in 1969. It was one of the worst events of her life and left a deep emotional scar that would last her whole life. Judy had lived a life full of tragedy, consumed by the relentless pressures of the entertainment industry. For Liza, losing her mother was not only the loss of her dearest loved one, but also a stark confrontation with a cruel reality she had been avoiding. Liza had to carry on alone the great legacy of her mother while fighting to find her own identity in that huge shadow. She only cried once, in the car on the way to Manhattan when she heard the news. After wiping her tears, she planned a private funeral for her mother, even though people wanted a bigger, more public memorial. Out of love and respect, Liza chose yellow roses and asked a makeup artist who had worked with Judy to get her mother ready for their wedding to help her. But the pain of losing her mother didn't end there. Liza had to deal with the void her mother's death left behind, as well as the attention of the public and people eager to cash in on Judy Garland's fame. Many started writing books and spreading false information about her mother, which made Liza speak out. "I have to tell my mother's story myself," she said. From then on, Liza became a tireless protector of Judy's legacy, stressing that her mother was more than just a tragic figure. She was also a great artist and a loving parent. After her mother died suddenly, she had to deal with a lot of grief and constant expectations from the public. To deal with the pain and expectations, she turned to alcohol and sedatives, which led to a long battle with addiction. Addiction quickly became an uncontrollable part of Liza's life. The wounds of her past, the pressure to maintain her fame, and her subsequent personal tragedies pushed her into mental instability. She was hospitalized several times. Liza got help at well-known rehab centers like the Betty Ford Clinic, which had treated many famous people. Despite her problems, Liza always faced them head-on. "I know addiction is a disease, and I've always asked for help when I needed it," she once said, showing rare courage and determination. But Liza's health problems went beyond addiction. In 2000, she was diagnosed with viral incilius, a rare and life-threatening disease that is often spread by mosquito bites. The disease caused inflammation in her brain. Liza Minnelli was completely paralyzed and couldn't speak. Doctors told her family that she might spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair and never be able to walk again, but Liza wasn't one to give up easily. With incredible determination and an unbreakable fighting spirit, she started a long and hard recovery process. She learned how to walk, talk, and even go back on stage, which not many people could imagine. In an interview, Liza said that her father's teachings were the thing that kept her going. Many people thought she couldn't get through something, but her belief helped her get through it. Even after she overcame scoliosis in September, Liza's health was still in danger because of long-term problems caused by years of performing and constant travel. She had scoliosis, which meant she had to change how she walked to ease the pain, and she had many major surgeries, including hip and knee replacements and treatments for spinal disc problems. These procedures were not only physically painful, but also she had to deal with her physical decline and her desire to keep performing, which was very hard on her emotionally. However, Liza always found ways to get past her problems. Less than a year after her knee replacement surgery, she was back on stage doing her signature dance moves. In an interview, she joked, "I'm Dorothy's daughter from the waist up, but Tin Man from the waist down," referring to the artificial joints that kept her standing and performing. Liza Minnelli's struggles made her a symbol of both artistic brilliance and extraordinary mental strength. She fought not only to keep her fame and career, but also to keep her sense of self during her darkest moments. Liza's amazing stories of recovery have inspired millions, showing that determination and resilience can overcome any challenge, whether it's physical or emotional. Despite life's never-ending trials, Liza Minnelli continues to shine not only on stage, but also in the hearts of her audience. Even though Minnelli was a famous actress and singer, she never found lasting happiness in her marriages. She had 4 failed relationships that all started out well but ended in heartache. Her first marriage, in 1967, was to Peter Allen, a talented singer and songwriter. They met through Liza's mother, Judy Garland, and were quickly drawn to each other because they both loved the arts. However, Allen was gay, which Liza had no idea about. According to people close to her, Liza found out about Allen's sexuality after they got married when she found him in bed with another man. This shocking discovery not only ended their marriage, but it also made Liza question what love is all about. Even though they got divorced in 1974, they stayed close friends. Allen later came out as gay and became Liza's loyal companion, but the breakup left her with a lasting sense of sadness. After her first marriage ended, Liza found comfort in Jack Haley Jr., a director. Haley's father, Jack Haley Sr., was Judy Garland's co-star in the classic movie The Wizard of Oz. Their relationship felt like a continuation of the familial bond between their two families. They married in 1974, and the union gave Liza a sense of stability and safety. However, the relationship lacked the passionate connection that a marriage needs. Liza's career was on the rise, and she was always busy with work and drawn to the stage lights, even though Jack Haley Jr. supported her. After 5 years of being together, they ended their relationship amicably in 1979, ending a relationship full of love but not compatibility. Soon after, Liza got married for the 3rd time to a talented sculptor named Mark Garrow in late 1979. This was the first time Liza really hoped to find long-term stability in her personal life. Mark became not only her partner, but also her emotional anchor during hard times. But Liza's never-ending touring schedule, the pressures of fame, and her health made it impossible for them to stay together. They were married for over 10 years before they officially split up in 1992. Even though there was no public fighting during their breakup, it left Liza feeling very empty because she knew that no matter how hard she tried, she would never be happy in a marriage. Liza's 4th and final marriage to David Guest was probably the most troubled and scandalous part of her life. David Guest was a music producer who was known for his strange personality and expensive lifestyle. When they got married in 2002, it was a big deal because it was a big ceremony with lots of famous people, but after only 16 months, the marriage fell apart, with both people making serious accusations against the other. G said Liza abused him physically, sending him to the hospital and giving him chronic pain. Liza, on the other hand, said G was controlling and manipulative, even saying he tried to poison her. The divorce lasted for 4 years, with both parties blaming each other. Shocking details about the breakup were widely reported in the media, making it one of Hollywood's most famous at the time. After the wedding was over, Liza joked, "If anyone hears that I'm getting married again, hit me until I come to my senses." One of Liza's deepest sorrows was that she could not have children. After 3 miscarriages, she had to accept that she would never be a mother. She once talked about a pregnancy in which doctors had to turn her over to try to save the baby, but the baby died. The child didn't make it, and Liza carried this deep regret with her throughout her life. "It's one of the biggest regrets I have," she said with tears in her voice. Despite 4 troubled marriages, Liza Minnelli never gave up hope of finding love and stability, but her personal life was always filled with pain and loneliness. Step by step, she overcame her heartbreaks and continued to stand tall as a symbol of strength and passion, putting her heart into the stage where behind the glamour of the stage and her famous roles, Liza Minnelli is a deeply loyal woman who has never wavered in her commitment to friendship. Among the important relationships in her life, her friendship with the legendary fashion designer Halston stands out as a remarkable chapter that not only shows their personal connection, but also her commitment to the community. Liza Minnelli met Halston at the height of her career when he was already one of America's most famous fashion designers. Their friendship started as a professional partnership but quickly turned into a deep personal one. Halston designed many of Liza's most famous outfits and also became a confidant and emotional anchor during her hardest times. He was a friend who listened, understood, and supported her in both her personal and professional life. When Hong was diagnosed with AIDS and died in 1990, Liza was devastated by the loss of a dear friend, but also deeply aware of the role. Liza organized a memorial service at Lincoln Center to honor Halston as a tribute to a great designer and as a strong statement against the stigma that people with AIDS. She gave money and used her fame and influence to bring attention to the disease, becoming one of the most famous artists speaking out against the stigma. As a result of the lack of understanding and prejudice surrounding HIV/AIDS, Liza was given the prestigious International Hero Award in 2003 for her unwavering dedication to the fight against the disease. In her acceptance speech, she reaffirmed her promise, saying, "I will do anything to help find a cure for this disease." Her words were not just a statement, they were a promise that she would always be there for communities in need. Liza's friendship endures. Liza Minnelli is an artistic icon, but she is also a reliable friend, a strong ally, and a dedicated activist. Despite problems in her personal life, she has always given her heart to those in need, using her fame as a force for good. She is now getting close to 80 years old and has entered a quieter phase of her life after decades of brilliance on stage and screen, though she no longer performs. Although Liza has had to cut back on her activities due to ongoing health problems, including the effects of viral incisions and problems with her spine and joints, she remains positive and steadfast, traits that have helped her get through many hardships in the past. In 2024, despite making few public appearances, Liza has left her mark on important events. A documentary about her life, Liza, a truly terrific, absolutely true story, premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival, where she talked about her emotional journey from huge success to personal problems. Even though she couldn't be there in person, Liza showed her appreciation on social media, saying that her passion and creativity were still burning bright. She was also given a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Industry Dance Awards, which recognized her immense contributions to the arts. Notably, Liza helped produce the Broadway musical Drag the Musical in New York, which marked her meaningful return to the stage. In Liza Minnelli's legacy goes beyond her awards and famous roles. It lies in her deep impact on the arts and popular culture. With her powerful voice, unique performance style, and unmatched ability to connect emotionally with audiences, she has inspired generations of artists. Works like Cabaret are not only important milestones in her career, but also lasting symbols of her creativity. Liza's charitable work, especially in the fight against AIDS, also shows how compassionate she was. Liza Minnelli has stepped away from the spotlight, but she is still remembered as a symbol of strength and timeless talent. Her life shows how important it is to keep going even when things get hard, leaving a mark not only in the world of art, but also in the hearts of those who admire her. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more fun videos. See you in the next video.